Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Outlander, Season 7, Episode 5, Singapore.
I'm glad we got clarification on the episode name, because I was like, I'm confused.
Claire mentioned it like partway through.
Yeah.
All right, where do we want to start?
I guess let's start with William and the hunters.
Okay. William and the hunters are moving along. The hunters are leaving, and so William is going with them at least part of the way. They managed to get lost or kind of sidetracked, I guess, or that guy said it on purpose.
I think that guy said it on purpose.
Okay. So then that guy who's chopping wood in the middle of the lane said, "You're going the wrong way, but it's too late to turn back. So why don't you come and stay with me for the night?"
I immediately, when he was like, "Come back to my house," I'd be like, "Nope, no.
Don't follow a lumberjack to a second location."
No.
And so they're like, "Oh, so kind." So they go back, and then they eat rat stew for dinner. It was not as big a reaction as the pus was last week.
No, it wasn't. But it just was like, there are whole rats in this bowl right now. Yeah. And William is just like, la, 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 like, and just eating it.
I feel like maybe he didn't get a whole rat.
I don't think he did, but Rachel sure as shit did.
Rachel
she got like a whole rat and a half.
Because she was trying to be like, "Did you see what was in the bowl?" And he was like, "No, and I beg you not to tell me.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know."
That was funny and gross. But it was just very, like, it's just very suspicious. Yeah. I kept on thinking of, like, Cold Mountain, or also the Lorena stuff of True Blood. When she's, like, luring men back to her. Like, it's just creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. They just, like, the vibes were, like, not awesome. Yeah, so I don't know. It's like, don't eat the fairy food. This feels like murder food, and I don't want it.
So that's my next question, because they managed. So William had eaten some of the rat, and he was up in the middle of the night with an upset stomach. So he was able to fend off the attack from the husband and wife, because they were gonna murder them and steal all their things. So then here's my big question. Then were they going to eat them?
I don't think so.
That's a bridge too far? So you're just going to murder these human people and steal all their things? Because Rachel said that there was just like a big bin full of stuff.
Well, they might have been like hoarding that stuff so then they could travel and go buy more stuff. Yeah. Okay. Or if they were set upon by more soldiers, they could say, "You want to watch?" Yeah. Instead of like, "Please stop taking our horses." Sure.
Either way, horrible. And so William defends the hunters because they are a peaceful people. And it's his first kill. He kills the husband, and he's never killed anybody before. And he has a little bit of a breakdown about it. Not like a huge one, but he's like, "I just assumed it would be in battle. And I think if it was, I would feel better about it."
And not only that, he stabbed him too. Yeah. You know, it's one thing to like shoot someone with a musket like from however many yards away, but like you watch the man's light leave the eyes. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. Yeah, it's a little bit of a mindfuck.
So, but William seems okay in the morning. They part ways as friends, and it's kind of nice. I like it. And then Denny and Rachel are on their way to Fort Ticonderoga as well, because they hear they're in need of surgeons. And boy, howdy, is that right? Because that lieutenant, what was his name?
I don't fucking know. Asshole.
He was awful. Lieutenant Stacktoe.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a big
him
no.
And Fermoy.
Brigadier General Fermoy. Yeah. Wow.
What are we going to do about the giant Sugarloaf? Like, I have never heard someone.
First of all, Sugarloaf Mountain is beautiful.
It is.
Second of all, no. So Jamie very rightly was like, "Hey, there's a big mountain up there. 100% the British will know that they can get up there. So we should put someone up there so that we can keep them from being there, or like station somebody in such a way so that we can fight back against that." And the stupid French Brigadier General was just like, "Ha ha, as if you know anything. Why would I listen to you? No one can get up there. I don't care where the goats are the only people can't get up there." And
Islanders and goats, those are the only people that can get on the top of the mountain. And even that was more French than that man.
No, it was really, I mean, his name is Olivier Reynal, so he might actually be French.
What? Okay, so all week we've been making this. Well, I have been making this.
Oh, do you know what? He might be Spanish.
Interesting. Well, then it's a battle of the R's on that one.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
It's either in the front of the mouth or the back of the throat.
Yeah.
But we watched this episode of Parks and Rec where Tom is wanting to propose to Lucy. And so they're filming this like action sequence in this jewelry store, and Leslie is doing her best like French accent, and it's just would you like to see the rare diamonds? And it's so funny
because so Tina Fey, not Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, she cannot do impressions, and so I think she's not super good at accents either, because it comes off sounding South American or South African, and it's like so weird.
It just sounds like a car trying to turn over because she can't do the throaty French R. I love it so much. But
it was very funny.
This guy very much was that.
Yeah, so Amy Poehler makes it very funny. This guy made me furious.
No, it was that plus the stupidity of the decision making, and the whole time all I was thinking was, why do men run the world? Because it was so ego-driven, both his issue and the lieutenant.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
Or he's not even a doctor.
Yeah, he's a lieutenant! Yeah. And I'm just like, you guys. I mean, if you have someone that's coming to you and like, hey, I have expertise in this, I'm not going to be like... Who the fuck are you?
Well, it's like, so he's not giving Claire even an inch because she's a woman. And then he's arguing with Denny about whether or not to amputate Mr. Woodcock's leg below the knee or above the knee. And Denny is like, he's got, I don't know, it was like an embolism or something in there. He was like, so it's going to have to be a mid-femoral amputation. And Claire is like, oh, you're definitely right. Go sterilize the tools. And the friggin' lieutenant was like, boiling water?
No, not on my metals, ma'am.
Just ruin the temper of the metals. A woman?
A girl?
We got another one of those coming up, too. Because in addition to that, so they end up doing it Denny's way, and Mr. Woodcock comes through the surgery.
And because Denny was like, the surgeon here that went to medical school will make the decision.
And he was like, well, you won't use my tools for it. So he took his toys and went home. Yeah. And so then he comes through the surgery, Mr. Woodcock, fine. He's all stitched up and it's good. But then they have to evacuate the camp. And I think Claire left him the laudanum twofold.
Yeah.
Because she was like, you're injured. They have to treat you with mercy. And I was like, I don't think they're gonna.
No.
So she left him a full bottle of laudanum, and we both are like, I think he's gonna just take that.
Yep.
He's just
she was like, don't take too much. And he was like, thanks for your kindness.
I definitely won't. The only other big thing in the past is that Ian gets told that he has to go back to the Mohawk. Specifically the chief of the tribe the specific group that he was with before. And he's like, ooh, could I not? Because my ex is there.
It's going to be a little awkward.
And she's got kids from another man.
Yeah. My spirit couldn't fight her spirit.
Turns out, no. But I found this whole thing very interesting because the general, or whoever was it, St. Clair, Major General St. Clair. Yeah. He basically was like, no, you have to go. So go. And so he did. And he meets Emily there almost immediately. She does not seem upset to see him. She seems pretty happy to see him, actually. And he has also already by that point asked Claire.
About his sperm.
He says, how are babies made? And she's like, Ian.
Come on.
And so he clarifies that he's like, I need to know if there's something wrong with me because he is infatuated now with Rachel. Infatuated is not the right word. I think he genuinely likes her. Yeah, he likes her for real. So he likes Rachel and he's like, but I can't imagine getting married again if it's a problem with me and I can't give her a baby. So she's like, Ian, sometimes things just happen. That just is sometimes how it goes. I don't think looking at your sperm would make a difference. And anyway, I don't have my microscope because it got blowed up super bad. So, but she just sort of reassures him that she's like, no, you don't have to worry about it. that kind of thing happens all the time. And then we get the bombshell that Emily's son is Ian's son.
Yeah. Because he was like, can I meet your son? And she was like,
oh,
and then she's like, sure. And then he comes over.
That little redheaded boy comes
curly-haired, fair-skinned. And it's just like, ma'am.
This child walked on a screen and I was in the kitchen cooking while I was watching and I was like, Rachel, that's a white child, right? She was like, sure is.
Yeah, his name was, what is it? Strongest of lizards or fastest lizard or something?
Swiftest, maybe?
I don't know. It was very cute. And so
Swiftest of lizards.
Yeah, and he was like, my grandmother tells me that I am the spirit of you or you are, but I'm not.
I'm the child of your spirit.
Yes, but I am not to tell my father as that would upset him. And it's just so funny because when he asked him, when Ian asked Emily how she was, and she was like, I'm good. And then he was like, well, you're not going to ask me how I am. She was like, I have eyes. And so my whole thing is, ma'am, does your husband not have eyes?
Are his eyes broken?
Yeah, or does he just not, like, -2 vision, something? I don't, because that is a white baby.
Actually, I don't think he is.
Really?
Yeah. I don't feel comfortable. Nicosis Sakuha Kingfisher.
Oh, wow.
I'm not 100% sure now. But they picked a good one.
Yeah, they did.
Because he looked like Ian.
He really did.
Yeah. He had the red hair and everything. The red curls, like you said specifically.
Yeah.
Like Jamie's curly hair.
Well, and then Emily asked him to name him.
Oh, an English name.
Yeah, for when he walks in that world.
And his name is Ian James.
Ian James.
So cute. But yeah, I mean, it gave Ian the comfort he needed where he was like, yeah, my junk works. It's cool. Now I can go be with Rachel.
Yep.
And so that was great.
No, that is absolutely an indigenous,
yeah.
partly indigenous kid. That's fantastic casting.
Crazy though, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's so cute.
So precious.
Such a cute little boy.
Yeah, he had a lot of spark.
He did.
Yeah. I'm having a good time.
Me too. The like two men in this episode that were awful didn't ruin it, but they were, I was just like, we were doing so well. And then we got back into this.
Well, when we had those two bookended with the dum-dums that Brianna has to work with.
One thing I do want to say is that Brianna is like going through it kind of emotionally still about having left Claire and Jamie. Which I understand, that's understandable or whatever. But then she has also put this arbitrary limit of how many letters she can read per time period or whatever.
I would have binged all of them.
All of them immediately and then kept them in order so I could go back and read them again. But she's just like, I know I said we wouldn't read another one, but I really missed them. And I was like, bitch, read all of them. Yeah. Just read them.
Because my whole thing is like, I think, well, she said that she didn't want to read them all at once because then it's like, they're still alive. And I'm like, ma'am, they literally are if you go back through the stones.
Also, like, read one per week or something.
Yeah.
They've been working on Lallybroch for presumably months, and she hasn't read a single other one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because this seems like the second one she was reading.
Yep.
Silly.
There are some books. I do a very good job with not doing all of them, but sometimes if I'm in a high stress situation in the book, I will flip to the back and be like, I need to know who is still here.
Who lives.
Yes. And then I will like forget, but then I can keep going. This is the type of situation where I'm like, oh no, I have to rip the Band-Aid off. I have to know everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a great like storytelling device, I guess, for us, but
sort of.
Yeah.
But also now because these last couple episodes have actually, like, I'm following the story, obviously, but I am confusion because the timelines are moving in different speeds.
Yeah, I mean, we passed a whole year.
Yeah, it's 1777 now in the past. So but it's at least 1980 in the present. So I'm like, move along together or stop using this as a framing device.
Yeah.
Okay, so the kids are playing in the graveyard, which freaks Brianna out. They say they go there to speak to Jamie, and she's like, he's not in there, though, is he? And they say they haven't found his headstone yet, but they're not looking. But Jemmy made him McCairn to, like, go talk to him. Sweet. I think it's sweet. We also still are getting the Nucknavy.
Nucklavy.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
super creepy. You told me what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I am just like waiting for what it actually is, which I won't spoil it because I don't know how many people are like us and haven't finished the books yet, but creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. So there's like crisp bags and like soda bottles like on the ground outside of this kind of storage building that Jemmy was hiding in because he got in trouble at school in the year 1980
got the shit beat out of him
speaking Gaelic at school.
Mm-hmm.
But he also was fighting with a boy who said that him and Brianna and Mandy were all going to hell for being papists. And then he said, I'll save you a seed to a little boy. And I was like, you know what, Jemmy? You're a real one.
Yep.
And so that was all. Which also, you're still in Scotland. Is Scotland not still majority Catholic?
No, it's
I guess
split.
not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's all made up and the points don't matter.
That's true. It's really true. Roger, though, doesn't get mad at him, which is great.
Yeah.
Roger, 1980 Roger is hitting different.
He is doing things for me.
He's doing things for me, too.
Because his, like, the misogyny is softening a little bit. So, because in this episode, he was like, have a great day at work and bring your hard hat home.
Gross.
Oh, I'm into it.
No, I don't like that.
Oh, I'm into it.
I don't want... The hard hats are so unflattering.
I know, but then it's just like, but look at everything else.
I guess.
I don't know. He likes to take it.
That's true. If we know one thing, it's that she's fucking him.
Yep.
So, Brianna does have her first day at work, and she is immediately hazed. Was Rob Cameron.
Rob Cameron,
yeah. And I don't know, the other one's not right next
Craig,
to Dowd,
yep.
and Andy Pfeiffer.
Yep.
They lock her in the dam, and she has to find her way out based on the fact that she's already studied the schematics. And so she gets out, but there's like a weird, like a stones situation in the tunnel.
Yep, but she like ran through it and nothing happened.
She came out the other side.
Yeah, and so I wonder
because it was like it was like the shimmer from Annihilation.
Yep.
So I was like, is everyone seeing this or just her?
I would assume probably not. Because if the men had seen it, they would have cut that place off. No one would be able to go there because it's like spooky or whatever.
Sure.
So I'm wondering if nothing happened because she like thought of where she was and so she like couldn't go anywhere.
Maybe it's like just the energy, but she still has to be like touching something.
Maybe.
Although none of the other places have like a portal. Like it was like a Stargate portal.
But the island that Galus was at, that pool of water was a portal.
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because that was the whole thing why it happened in there. It's because I guess she was going to do it in there.
Yeah. Interesting. Either way, she makes it out the other side. She makes it out. She ends up telling Roger and the kids that she had a great day at work, and she like managed to get out because she did her homework, which was like a lesson that Roger was then like teaching Jemmy, which was cute. But then she admits to Roger that she had a terrible day, and like I guess she probably admitted the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then the next morning, which was not super clear, she decides to go, or I guess the next afternoon maybe.
Yeah,
she decides to go meet the guys at the pub they were talking about the previous day at work, and immediately upon her entry, it's like crickets. Mm-hmm. She's the only woman.
They literally said, "Wrong pub, lassie."
The knitting circle is down the way, or whatever. Just whatever.
And then a man got up immediately after she sat down.
So she's trying to play it off and be the bigger person, and she was like, "Who do I have to lock in a tunnel to get a drink around here?"
She was too soft about it.
Way too soft about it. Because she also only spoke to Rob Cameron. She only looked at him and said, "Look, I'm willing to have a clean slate, but if you ever do that again, you're all fired."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sort of like, you need to say that to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
But her thinking, I'm sure, is he clearly is the leader.
Fine. Yeah.
So if you go up to the biggest kid and you punch him in the nose, then that's your way of establishing dominance.
Yeah.
But she still was like, so like, hey, if you ever do that again, like, I'm gonna fire you. And it's just like, you could have been like, listen, motherfucker,
bitch.
If you ever do that to me again, you'll be out on your ass so fucking fast.
We'll also just be like, I know your great, 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 great aunt. Mm-hmm. Get out of here. Like, I just. I will make her haunt you.
I literally would just make all of them think I'm a witch and then be afraid of me.
Amazing.
Yeah, that mental terrorism works in that type of situation. Oh no, you will fear me before anything.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, burn her at the stake. And be like, yeah, I'd like to see you try. How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to buy groceries if you burn me at the stake? But sure.
100%.
Okay, Rob.
But yeah, so it seems that they are going to move forward on a more even footing.
For now.
We hope. I just sort of, I don't know, if somebody named Andy Pfeiffer came up to me and was like, you're a girl, I would be like,
okay, Andy
Pfeiffer.
Yeah. I would probably try to like come up with some really dumb Pied Piper joke.
Sure.
I don't know. I'd have to think on that one for a little bit.
But it's just horrible. They're all horrible.
I don't know. I learned very young that like when people say dumb shit to you like that, you just go, okay. And then it kind of like messes them up. They don't know what to do.
It was so sad for you.
Yeah, just like, okay, I guess. And then you just walk away. Then they're like, oh. Yeah. And then you take the wind out of their sails.
Oh, for sure. So then the last thing that we do in the episode is Brianna goes home and she goes to the graveyard and she finds the little cairn that they made and she starts talking to it like it's Jamie. And then the credits start and keep happening over her voice.
Went black first, and then she kept talking, and both of us were like, what? Because we've been having issues with our internet, and so we thought it was over, but then it just, or like we weren't sure, and then...
What, just like a weird late season stylistic choice to make out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was different.
But yeah. Good episode again. I liked it.
Oh, and we didn't touch on Mandy saw someone outside.
Oh, yes.
Mandy screams, and then they come running into the office, and then she says that she saw someone outside.
Yeah.
And then claims it was the Knucklevi.
Yeah.
So it is and it isn't.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then Roger walks outside empty-handed.
Yeah.
I'm like, my guy, you lived in the wilderness and you're not going to walk out with a gun?
Roger, you are so attractive in 1980, and I believe that Brianna is sexually satisfied, but I don't think that you can fight off a spirit demon barehanded.
Mm-hmm. Those forearms aren't big enough.
No.
But they're big enough to hold me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. I liked it. I'm excited for next week.
Me too.
Like I said, I think there's only 3 more before we take a break.
Oh no. Do you think everything's done?
I don't know if they finished filming. Thank you for bringing that up though. I meant to say that there has been some confusion about what content creators are allowed to do during the SAG and writers strikes. As it stands right now, we are going to continue covering things that have already been completed.
Yes.
If there's anything else, any other communication from SAG-AFTRA or the WGA that says they don't want content creators to do that anymore, we will cease. Mm-hmm. But for now, the going opinion seems to be that we can continue to do this for things that have already completed filming.
Yes, and none of us are in SAG-AFTRA, so we can still continue to put stuff out until we're encouraged not to anymore.
Yeah.
So,
and nor are any of us, I think, planning to be in SAG-AFTRA, but we also don't want to get blackballed down the lane if that ends up, becoming a problem. So we're going to keep giving you content as long as we can. If the unions don't want us to continue doing new stuff, then we will pivot to only old stuff.
Yes.
So,
mm-hmm. Yep, because we do. Forward. Yep, we stand with the unions. We stand 100%. With all you guys. Absolutely. So keep doing the thing, and as soon as the call comes forward, we will answer the call. So.
Yep. So that is it for us today. Let us know what you thought about this episode of Outlander, and we will see you next week. Please like and subscribe, and let us know what you think. Bye.
Bye.